So I almost became a reseller. I did. I almost became a reseller until I realized a few things and it kind of turned me around. Now, I saw a video from a new YouTuber. He's got a channel and I can't remember his name right now. If I can think of it, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. But he basically talked about how he started to get into the hobby or the business of reselling video games, and he realized very quickly how difficult it was. And he basically was saying how he now has a stack of games that just don't sell for him anymore. Like they don't, he's just starting to amass inventory that's not moving. And one of the things that I realized about reselling video games like very soon is that the exit strategy for reselling video games is very bleak, right? The decision to start reselling, or the decision to become a reseller, is you making a lifelong commitment to nonstop hustle. Not, it's like a nonstop hustle. You're constantly hustling. There's no retirement package at the end of that. There's no social security checks at the end of that. There's no 401k attached to that. There's no medical, dental, and vision attached to that. There's none of that is attached to that, right? None of the things that you need to actually survive as an individual in society today. None of that comes with reselling. Now, it looks amazing. It looks fun. Shoot, it looks glamorous damn near, right? Especially within the world of retro gaming, right? Because you got to remember, we're a small community, right? Retro gamers, we're a small niche. Even here on YouTube, we're a small niche. And so the folks that seem like mega stars to retro gamers or video gamers, right? Like the beat 'em ups of the world, the happy console gamers of the world, the Metal Jesus rocks of the world, the the Phoenixes of the world, right? Like all those guys seem like megastars in this very, very small niche. But if you put like some of these guys like at Coachella, no one would know who they are. Like if you took them to other arenas, no one would recognize them, right? Because there's a much bigger universe outside of the galaxy of retro gaming, so to speak. And almost went off on a tangent there. Getting back to the reselling thing though, right? When I look at these guys that resell, again, there really is no exit strategy. Now, Retro Rick is a little bit different because he has a store. He actually has an actual store. And should he decide one day to sell his business, I'm sure he can go and sell it. Phoenix, he's more Amazon. And that's really kind of where I want to kind of touch on. Without Amazon, right? Reselling video games at the volume that you see some of these bigger resellers do it at, without Amazon, they're toast. The business model is shot completely in the foot. It just doesn't work. And if I'm wrong, then I dare one of these resellers to come out and comment and say, no, Y2K, you're wrong. We could have a strong, thriving business without Amazon. I strongly beg to differ, because even when you look at something like Quick Flips, the only reason Quick Flips works is because of the margins that he's able to get by selling on Amazon. So it's not even a retro game flipping business. It's really just like Amazon arbitrage, really. That's what he's in the business of. He's in the business of arbitrage via Amazon. That's the business. And again, if that's a business that you want to get into, go for it. I mean, go for it. I think the reason why some of the folks that do sell retro games on Amazon are so successful, and I've said this many times before, it's because Amazon has shut the gates down. If you have not been selling retro games on Amazon for the last few years, few months maybe, it's over. You try to go to Amazon and try to get ungated for almost any video game, and they're going to tell you that they're not accepting applications at this time. And this is what this smaller YouTuber was explaining, the one that I mentioned in the beginning of this video, whose video I saw. He said he tried to get sell on Amazon, and he got shut down. And I knew exactly what he was talking about because I myself tried to sell on Amazon, not retro video games, but other things on Amazon. And you realize how tight of a market Amazon actually is. And I get it. Amazon prioritizes the customers, which is why it's very difficult to sell on there. They try to make sure that it's an amazing customer experience as much as possible. And for this reason, you're not going to be able to just jump up and sell on Amazon. But what happens when Amazon changes their policy? What happens when Amazon says no one is allowed to sell retro games on Amazon anymore? What happens to your business then? Now, for somebody like Retro Rick, he'll be okay because he has a brick and mortar store. He's not dependent on Amazon. He has an actual store where people go and buy his stuff. Or even someone like a Sick Cooper. He has a store and he sells online. I don't know if he sells through Amazon. I think he may have his own website, but he's independent. He's not dependent on Amazon. And that's because he has an actual business. His store is his business. His website is his business. Retro Rick's business is his business. An Amazon reseller does not have a business. They're in the business of doing Amazon arbitrage. And they can build an entire infrastructure around that, but it's still Amazon arbitrage. Because if everything is flowing through Amazon, and if without Amazon you don't have a business, it's over. I mean, and I'm going to use Quick Flips as an example. Like, Quick Flips works because of Amazon. Quick Flips isn't a business in and of itself. All Quick Flips does is Quick Flips is a method for gathering inventory. That's all it is. Quick Flips in and of itself is not a business. It doesn't have any other utility other than helping Phoenix Resell get games to flip on Amazon. That's it. It's an extension of his Amazon arbitrage business. But Quick Flips in and of itself is not a business. I could be super wrong, and I wish maybe I need to go back and watch some of the Phoenix Resells or Renix P-Sells, whatever videos, to see if there's more to that app than that. But again, everything he does is an extension of his Amazon arbitrage business. And if you want to get into Amazon arbitrage, fine. But that's really going to be the only way that you're really going to be successful. That's the only way that you can sell games at volume the way he does. I give him props. He's done a really good job of cornering that market for Amazon arbitrage, like the retro gaming market. But that's really all it is. And if Amazon decides in 2027 that, you know what, or let's just say like companies decide no one's allowed to sell our stuff, no matter if it's a new game or old game, no one's allowed to do it. Guess what Amazon's going to say? They're going to say you can't sell it. And even if you've been ungated, they could change their rules at any time and say, you know what, you're no longer allowed to sell this stuff. And then what happens? If that happens, someone like a Phoenix Resell will be forced to sell his games on platforms that are way less competitive, right? Or way more competitive, I should say, where his profit margins are not going to be there and it won't be sustainable. So think before you resell, think before you try to resell. And as I always say, get a job. Just get a job, get a regular job if you can. I know it's not easy. I know it's easier said than done, but get a job. I was in a live today. I was running a live today and somebody asked me, they said, Y2K, what is it that you do for work? Because you seem well off. I'm not well off. I just have a job that pays my bills and I pay my bills on time. That's all there really is to it in life. Pay your bills on time and you'll be okay. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think reselling is still worth it? 'Cause I don't. I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.